I'm about to show you something that made me realize that some secrets don't stay buried forever. They simply wait for someone with the same obsession to dig them up. And when I finally did, it felt like what I could only describe as fate. There is a 200-year-old gap in the history of London known as the Rossetti Settlement. It's the case of a 26-year-old woman named Francesca Rossetti, who witnessed a star fall from the sky in 1821. She claimed this star transformed on its descent into a celestial being, something with a peculiar, almost cartoonish look to it. She would name these beings the Stardrops, and would spend the next 5 years of her life following them, researching them, and being silenced for it. A lesser-known branch of the government at this time, called the Chancery of Omission, made it very clear: stop your research, or we will quite literally get rid of you. And in 1826, they did just that. She disappeared, never to be seen again, and all of her notes and her sightings of these beings were wiped from our modern history. Until now, 200 years later, I found the final letter that she wrote before her disappearance, along with notes and artwork that pieced together to form the full story I'm about to tell you. And in response to my findings, I have formed the Stardrops Preservation Society to finish what she wasn't allowed to. So if you want to hold the evidence yourself, if you want her letters, her artwork, and fragments of research I'm recovering, I'm mailing them out every month. You can join the society through the link in the description to receive the physical files, because I can't solve the full mystery alone. But for now, let's go back to 1821, where it all started. Now, 1821 London, this was the height of the Industrial Revolution. The city was becoming a machine, and people worked long, laborious hours. Understandably, they were exhausted, but that also meant they didn't look up to notice what was happening right outside the factory doors. And our story begins here, with 21-year-old Francesca Rossetti. The name Francesca quite literally means free one, which is a dark irony considering what happened to her. She was an older relative of the painter and poet Dante Gabriel Rossetti. He was only 7 when this account took place, and while history remembers him as a visionary, it has completely omitted her. It's a strange thing that the world knows Dante for being the founder of the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, an art movement obsessed with abundant detail and intense color, but I suspect that family obsession with detail started with Francesca. It began during a record-breaking summer, a heat wave so relentless that it challenged the toughest souls of London. Francesca would wake up at daybreak before the temperature became unbearable to find the edge of an overlook that she loved. It was a stretch of wild grass where she could sit and watch the city while it was still asleep. That evening, she was expected at a social call to meet a man her parents insisted was perfectly suited for her. But as the night turned to daylight, she caught sight of something that made her forget the dread of the impending evening entirely. Her eyes transfixed on a single star, but instead of it fading into the morning light, the star began to drift. It was falling, cutting through clouds and dropping towards the earth. She blinked, doubting her own wakefulness, but when it landed, it was no longer a star, but something she could only describe as a celestial being. Without thinking, she ran towards it until it sped up and disappeared from her view. She skipped dinner entirely that night, leaving her parents to explain her absence to a man she had no intention of marrying. Instead, she returned to that same overlook and waited. She didn't see those stars again that night, but this was the day it all began. Each encounter drove her deeper into a record no one else was willing to entertain as truth. And this letter, dated 1826, is her final entry. She disappeared that same year, at age 26. No one knows where she went or who took her, but she left evidence that a hidden branch of the government was well aware of the existence of these beings, and they were prepared to do anything to keep them a secret. Here is her letter. Dearest reader, I hope you stumbled on my words by accidental discovery and not by the intent to seize the truths hidden within these lines. If you are reading this, you hold the physical testament of my life's work. I presume this to be the only remaining evidence that I have stood in the London rain back in 1821 and watched as the stars descended and shifted into celestial beings. The world I have come to know has turned its back on what I have seen. I tucked this letter within the pages of my father's copy of The Vision, the 1814 translation by his dearest friend Henry Carey, otherwise known as The Divine Comedy, Volume 1. I will assume it to be safe here, as even the Chancery of Omission is, I hope, above burning the classics. Carey may have translated works of heaven and hell, but I am writing to you of the real-life manifestation of them. What follows is not a vision, but my witness statement. It is perhaps a truth as divine as Dante's, and one for which I may be omitted for continuing to speak of. My name is Francesca Rossetti. although I should prefer you remember me simply as Frankie. I'm 26 years old and I live on Thames Street in London. If time allowed, I would go into great detail about myself, but there are more pressing matters at hand. They will claim the firmament is as empty as an expansive, feathery blue and white void once the sun rises, but this is a grand and calculated fallacy. I have spent these past 5 years dedicating myself to tracking the sightings and activities of exactly 200 beings, one for every year that I fear it will take for the world to finally heed what I have witnessed. If by some improbable coincidence you hold this page in the year 2026, 2 centuries after my 26th year, then my work has not been in vain. Here is what I have seen. Clusters of light, stars essentially. You may assume they simply fade out of focus until the dark returns, but have you confirmed this to be true by your own sight? It is incredibly difficult, I must admit, but some stars descend. They drift down to land in the first seconds of daybreak, taking the shape of little beings fully formed once they touch Earth. I have named them the Stardrops. They are surprisingly quick on their unlaced shoes. Their feet barely seem to strike the cobblestones before they scatter from my view. It's a purposeful movement, almost as if they are tethered to a specific soul in the city and are set on reaching them with a quiet excitement. Through my observations, I've realized they are also incredibly clever but terribly lonely. Increasingly so, and I expect that to be the bitter truth at the time that you receive this. I have captured their likeness in the margins of my journals, with countless written descriptions, illustrations, coordinates of exact sightings. But my experience in sharing these findings have been met with anger, confusion, and most recently, attempted erasure. I have received 2 orders of silence from the Chancery of Omission. My parents found the second order, and upon reading it have decided to forbid me from wandering outside on my own, for fear I might cause more of a disturbance with my research. The Chancery wants to erase my records, but I am getting increasingly worried they more accurately intend to erase the Stardrops themselves, and perhaps myself as well. Their sights are set on a world of clockwork precision and soot-stained legions of mechanical workers reduced to their labor, a case where any person in pursuit of any creative or joyous endeavor would surely be tested by their iron law. I may be the only one in the great Wen who knows about the Stardrops. I have seen these celestial beings jump upon the shoulder of a dreamer and kindle within them a genius idea. They are the key to imagination itself, and the Chancery wants nothing more than to stifle the spark before it sets their world of predictable physics aflame. Please do not let fear deter you from this important mission. I can testify that I have seen enough Stardrops to know they are not figments of my imagination. This morning, a dusty pink one was dancing in the quiet halls of the London Institution at Finsbury Circus. If you are reading this, my archive has likely been burned or buried. Do not let the world become as dim as they intended to become. Keep these records safe. Finish the research. Ad astra per conspectum. Frankie. There's a few things in this letter that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since I read them. First, Francesca, or Frankie as she rather be referred to, says she hid this within her father's copy of the Divine Comedy, but that's not where I found it. I was organizing the books behind me, and this letter, along with the rest of the files, fell from a book of household recipes I had forgotten that I had. But either way, the book these files were hidden in was printed in 1866, a 55-year gap, and I'm going to tell you how it ended up in this entirely different hiding place in just a moment. But the part that I think we can both agree is the hardest to believe is the pure coincidence of when I made this discovery. In the letter, she writes, "If by some improbable coincidence you hold this page in the year 2026, 2 centuries after my 26th year." I am both holding this in the year 2026, and I'm also currently 26 years old. I don't really know how to process that part yet. And then there's this looming presence of the mysterious government entity, the Chancery of Omission. I couldn't find any information on them through my research yet, but I'll tell you a simple Google search will not produce any results. But she mentions receiving 2 orders of silence from them. She had a feeling already that they were going to, as she says, erase her, and history proves they did. But right here is the order of silence. They didn't get this. It's one of the original orders of silence that she was talking about. I don't currently have the other, but here's what it says. Date 1st of February 1826, addressed to Francesca Rossetti. By order of the Chancery, this serves as your final notice to cease all verbal sharing, documentation, and unauthorized research concerning non-existent anomalies you refer to as Stardrops. Our ledgers indicate that your pattern of noncompliance has continued since February of 1821. While we have shown extreme leniency towards your witnessings, your behavior has reached an intolerable threshold. Your persistence in spreading fictitious information of celestial beings to townspeople is an attempt to misrepresent reality and spread hysteria, and is in direct violation of the Act of Public Clarity, 1819. Should any further visual, written, or verbal spreading of Stardrops be produced, the Chancery will proceed with erasure on the 11th of February. We truly look forward to your compliance, Francesca. You may find it far more satisfactory to live in reality rather than being burdened by the self-inflicted exhaustion of imagination. Now, it's one thing to hear about a shadow government. It's another to hold their final notice in your hands, and to think that on February 11th, exactly as they threatened, she was just gone. That afternoon, before it happened, she was at the London Institution at Finsbury Circus. Through my research, I found out that the London Institution was a library with lecture halls and a hub for research and education that paired very well with what was important during the time of the Industrial Revolution. Information that is practical, based on facts, and predictable physics that the Chancery would have seemingly loved to see. It's where the most brilliant minds of the 19th century would gather and explain away any outliers or mysteries of the world, and I'm guessing the Stardrops were at the top of their list. This institution sat right in the middle of Finsbury Circus, the oldest public park in London. Even today, this odd circular spot of urban design still remains in the city as a park and transportation hub. But what I'm trying to get at is that it was truly the last place you'd expect to find a celestial anomaly. She writes one last sighting on the back of a photo card of the London Institution, and this is what she wrote. I sat in the reading room at the London Institution for 3 hours today. I'm not a student, but they didn't ask me to leave the premises this time. The Chancery agents were pacing the main hall, but their eyes were glazed over, as always, unfazed by celestial happenings inches from where they stood. I watched as a stardrop danced right in front of them, weaving through the pillars with pure abandon. I promised you it made eye contact with me this time. A look of recognition for me within its lively eyes. Bella says it's the same one we saw on Thames Street last Tuesday. As much as my heart wants to follow it, I know better. The closer I get to the Stardrops, the larger the target I create for myself. This is a sign. I must be more careful with my findings. If they seize the home library, the rest of my logs are split. I've hidden them inside the Divine Comedy Volumes 1 and 2 in the basement stacks of my family's library. I'll write a letter shortly to explain the rest. Ad astra per conspectum. Frankie. It's the last time she was ever seen in history. On February 11th, the Chancery paid her a visit, and Francesca Rossetti was omitted. But as I told you, I didn't find these files in her family's library. I found them in a recipe book from 1866, and that is because of this. A note from her best friend, Arabella. She was nearby the night of the incident. She couldn't save Frankie, but she managed to grab the Divine Comedy before the Chancery agents could see what was hidden inside. She kept these files safe for 40 years, moving them from house to house. Eventually, that house was across the ocean to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and she wrote this note to explain why Francesca's research was moved. From the desk of Arabella Coleridge. I have moved this letter to the latest edition of Dr. Chase's recipes. What you are about to read is not a work of fiction, although you may disregard it as such. I have hidden this letter after the Rossetti Home Library was ransacked by the Chancery of Omission on the night of February 11th, 1826, the night my dearest friend was taken from us. The year is now 1866, and I have long since emigrated to Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's a quiet life far removed from the happenings of London. If you have found this, let it be your mission to continue the work Frankie devoted her final hours to. She entrusted me to keep the words in this letter safe until it found the right eyes, and I will see that it does. The best of luck to you, Bella. I keep going back to the fact that Frankie mentions her sightings are split, that her evidence is inside volumes 1 and 2 of the Divine Comedy. The contents of volume 1 are here, so where is the missing volume 2? My guess is this book, wherever it may be, has to be hollowed out given the amount of pages 5 years worth of research would take up. So did her best friend Bella fail to retrieve the rest, or did the Chancery reach them first? I'm currently in search of possible redacted files. Okay, so if you stayed this long into the video, I'll share something special with you I haven't revealed yet. This is the artwork that changed the way I view this whole case completely. This is the Stardrop that Frankie illustrated, and if you can believe it, I've been drawing these exact characters down to the unlaced shoes and the stars in the eyes for the past 5 years. In fact, I've made it my full-time job to draw them. I'm a mural artist and an illustrator, and this whole time I thought they were just figments of my imagination. I definitely didn't think I was referencing lost history in my art. But here, let me show you to my art studio. Before we even head upstairs, we have Exhibit A. Now, I made this earlier this year, and this character looks exactly the same down to the proportions and overall celestial theme. But let me show you upstairs to the art studio though, because I think you can really see the resemblance. But like I said, this character is literally all I've been painting for the past 5 years, so this obviously just seems so crazy to me. So, see, more paintings, illustrations, I mean, truly the same. These are some of my earlier works, these are as well. So they do look a bit different from the artwork, but here. These are the illustrations that I made this year. It's the exact same character. If anything, this looks right here like an early rendition of what now is my artwork. So, if I were to make the assumption that everything we just discovered was real inside of that book, the letters, the artwork, then that means the character I've been drawing isn't just an illustration that's imagined, but based on real lost history. And maybe this woman from the 1800s was actually recording real sightings of these real-life celestial beings. In response to my findings, I have created the Stardrops Preservation Society to continue the research Francesca didn't get the chance to finish. I'll be running this as a print club so as not to bring too much attention to our research, but essentially I'll be mailing out physical evidence envelopes with the artwork and letters that I found and modern-day sightings that I'm making. If you'd like to join me in this mysterious mission and receive monthly clues and artwork of the Stardrops, I am currently looking for field agents to help me spot them, because like I said, I can't do this alone. You can head to the link in the description to begin the mission. And I'll leave you with this. I keep thinking back to the end of Frankie's note. She ends both in a Latin phrase, ad astra per conspectum. In translation, it means to the stars through sight. We can reach the point of discovery through the act of noticing, and sometimes it's as simple as looking up. And now, perhaps you'll join me in doing the same. Bye. I'll see you soon.